Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. For this playlist we're going to be looking at American Truck Simulator. We are using the title Texas Tom as we're going to base our operations out of Texas, and we're going to look at American Truck Simulator and try to simulate what it's like being an owner-operator in today's trucking world. So we are going to base ourselves out of Fort Stockton, Texas. We're going to work week 1 exclusively for the Pioneer Natural Resources Company. Once we get enough capital to buy our own truck, we are then going to work on a contract basis for Pioneer Natural Resources. So you'll get a better feeling of how we're going to go about that as we go through the videos. Our starting balance was $1,320. That's what we started the week with. So week 1, Monday through Sunday, we drove Pioneer trucks, used Pioneer trailers. We started in Fort Stockton and we went where the loads were taking us, and then we picked up the nearest Pioneer load that we could get. So we will look at the log. I'll show you every trip that we took in week 1, and you can see how we went about doing that and picking loads. So we traveled almost 8,500 miles in week 1, and we took a total of 29 loads. Now, if you're familiar with American Truck Simulator, if you're working as a company driver, you'll realize that sleep is not taken into consideration. If you're using a quick load or a quick job, you don't have to worry about accounting for sleep. Now, once you get your own truck, then you have to account for sleep. You can only work so many hours before you have to rest. So we will not see most likely 29 loads in a week once we get our own truck. But this was just something we were able to do because we were using company trucks specifically. So with those 29 loads, we were able to bring in $245,000 in our first week. The most popular load type was frac tank. We will show you the breakdown of the numbers so you can see exactly what we were making, where we were going. There's some captures of some of our loads throughout the week. Here's some more captures of some of the loads throughout the week. Again, frac tank was the most popular. See some construction houses, power generators, crude oil, stuff like that. So now we'll look at the driver log and show you what exactly we were delivering. Okay, so here is a look at our driver log for the week. Again, we started with $1,320. By the end of the week, we were able to earn over $245,000 on 8,400 miles. You can see our average rate per mile was almost $29 per mile. But this is a list of all the loads we took and what the rate was. So you can see we started out 3 frac tank loads, Fort Stockton, and again with the parameters, what our levels were, depending, that dictated how far we were able to travel. So again, starting out, we don't have a lot of those XP points to spend, which we will as we progress. But what we tried to do was when we went to a city outside Fort Stockton, we tried to look and see where was the nearest Pioneer load. So something that was either delivering to Pioneer or being shipped out by Pioneer. So you'll see that in all of the loads here, the shipper is either Pioneer or the receiver is Pioneer. So that's what we did because we were working exclusively for them here in week 1. So we don't have a perfect round trip setup because For example, there on Tuesday, the last load on Tuesday, we ended up in Corpus Christi. Uh, we couldn't get any loads out of Corpus Christi for Pioneer, so the next closest load we could find was San Antonio. Again, when you're doing quick jobs, it just sends you to San Antonio. You don't have to worry about deadhead. Obviously, once we get our own truck, then that's going to be an issue. And that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing. Do we have any type of lanes in this game? Does the game generate specific lanes that we can find loads? Is there always going to be a load from Fort Stockton to San Antonio, Texas, that we can then get something from San Antonio, Texas back to Fort Stockton? Are there specific lanes in the game that we can kind of use to our advantage, or is everything just randomly generated? Obviously, if it's randomly generated, that's going to be a challenge for us. But that's what we're trying to accomplish through the channel, is to make it as realistic as possible here uh, as an owner-operator and as a company driver. So this is the driver's log for the week. You could see we did have some wrecks, some incidents on a couple of the trips. Obviously, that affects the rate. The more damage you incur, the less the rate. So we did get affected by that a couple times. But other than that, we started getting some pretty well-paying loads. I mean, we made 20,000 a couple loads. Our biggest load being 22, almost 23,000, would have been over that had we not wrecked. We went from Houston, Texas to Lubbock, Texas, and again, delivering a frac tank. So now we're going to look at the financial breakdown and see what we plan to do going into week 2. Okay, so here is our week 1 accounting report. Again, we brought in 247,000, but then we also took out 2 loans. So on day 7, we took out a loan for 400,000, and then we took out another loan for 100,000, totaling $500,000 in loans. Adding that to our income, that gave us $447,000 to end the week. Now, we did have some expenses. We did buy a truck at the end of the week. So you can see I blacked that out, but if you're familiar with the game, you can probably guess what truck I purchased. We did do some upgrades to the truck to get it ready right from the get-go. We then bought a garage in Fort Stockton, did some additions to that to get that ready. We then bought a fuel tanker trailer. Obviously, working with Pioneer, I think crude oil is going to be a lucrative load type. So I went ahead and I bought the fuel tanker trailer, and hopefully we can make that work. I did do some upgrades to the trailer there. So you'll see we had $535,000 in expenses buying the truck and buying the garage, upgrading the truck, buying the trailer, upgrading the trailer. So we're going to go into week 2 with about a $211,000 in working capital, which is a nice go ahead, nice start getting going. Hopefully then we can use this money and expand our fleet, hire some drivers, and these drivers will then help us meet the contract demands that we have with Pioneer. Last, I have just some visuals here as far as looking at the week from a visual perspective. We have a graph here looking at the total miles, breaking that down by miles per day. Again, 1,200 average miles per day. That will change once we get our own truck, but you can see what we did here for the week and each day. Also, the loads per day, we averaged 4 loads per day, 29 total. Obviously, Tuesday we did 6 in one day. Again, traveling close, we'll be able to do that. One thing this week I learned, Texas is huge. Uh, it takes a long time to travel through Texas, whereas in some of the other games, I was in New Mexico, I was in Nevada, you could travel to different states and back and have no problems. In Texas, it's big. It's a big state. Learning that through this game, it takes you a long time to travel through the different parts of Texas. So that I think is going to provide some issues for us once we get our own truck and once we start doing contract work. That could be potentially an issue for us. Here's the basic income per day, what we made each day. You can see we averaged $35,000 a day. I think that's going to be hard to do once we get our own truck. Again, I think these numbers are going to drastically change, but that's a great start off point. Again, we were able to buy the truck, buy the garage at the end of the week, so it was a great starting point. And then last, these were the loads by type. Again, frac tank, you see 17 loads, 17 trips delivering a frac tank. Crude oil was next with 6. That's why we went ahead and bought the crude oil trailer. We're going to basically be hauling crude oil through Texas and maybe out of Texas. That'll be the plan moving forward. And here is an unfortunate incident that we had in week 1. A little sideways there. Getting used to the GPS, sometimes it's hard to determine where you're supposed to turn, and probably driving a little too fast for conditions. So if you like what we're looking to do with this playlist, please give us a like, give us a subscribe to us. We are, again, going to try to see if we can make this company driver format work. Using Pioneer resources as the starting point. If there is a company that you think would be interesting, drop it in the comments. We're going to run this playlist for a while, see how far we can get. Again, see if we can find any particular lanes that work for us, work to our advantage. Expand our fleet, add drivers so they can help us get our contracts met through Pioneer. So if this is something you're interested in, please like, please subscribe, and stop back in. We're hoping to keep the playlist running, hopefully a video a week, something like that, and follow the journey. We're looking forward to bringing it to you. And if you are a trucker out there right now, best of luck to you. I know the fuel's going up and the rates are going down, and it's a hard time now, especially for owner operators. But hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel and things start turning around, and we wish you the best out there, and we want you to be safe out there on the roads. And we appreciate you guys delivering the stuff that we need here in this country. Uh, you're away from your families, you're away from home. There are people out there that appreciate what you do, and this channel's kind of out there dedicated to those people that are delivering the stuff that we need so that we can live the lives that we do. So stick around with the channel. Again, we hope you enjoy it. Give it a like, and we'll catch you on the next video.